Okay. So yeah, Rita, I really appreciate you offering your time to do this testimonial. Just wanted to start off really quick, just for people watching this. Tell us, a little bit who you are and a little bit about your background and ultimately how you got to Edge.
Sure. So I got into the mortgage industry in 2007, and it was something that I'd always wanted to do. And that was when the market was pretty much the time of subprime. So there's a lot of companies out there. That was when Countrywide was really big. And so I heard about all these opportunities, and I was actually working in a healthcare company at the time. And, I just had this I have my family's background is in real estate, and I just really wanted to transition into that. So I got an opportunity to work with Aegis Lending, and so kind of got my footing there. Was there for a few years, and then, as everyone knows, 2008, 2009, the market shifted, and a lot of companies went under. Actually, Aegis went under as well. And so eventually, with the market the way it was, I did transition out for a number of years, and I did corporate sales. But I just really wanted to get back into the industry. This is where my heart is. And so when I got back into mortgages, I was actually working in retail. And, I got an email from Edge, and it sounded really good. I spoke with Chris Hacker, the owner, and, I was still on the fence because I was believing a lot of what was out there about how retail offers more support. And just, so I didn't jump ship right away, but eventually, when I realized that retail does not give you the support you need, underwriting is not easier to work with, I called Chris and I said, let's make the transition. And it's been great ever since.
So it was based off an email, huh? That's interesting.
It actually worked on me. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Well, hey, that's good to know for future reference. I got told the same company line by retail too. It was like, the big bad broker down the street would beat us on price, but they're not, that's not a legitimate, mortgage company down there. And turns out the underwriting's better and the support's better and all that. So I totally get you as far as that goes. And so that being the case, how long have you been with Edge?
I joined Edge in 2018.
Gotcha.
So going on 5 years.
Gotcha. And in that time, payroll's been on time, leadership's been steady. No jumping ship. I mean, let's be real. 5 years at a mortgage company, that's a long time.
And honestly, I don't ever see myself leaving. There's no reason to leave. I'm licensed in 8 states, going on 9. And they're constantly adding states. So, the only other thing that you could maybe consider outside is open up your own broker shop, but that doesn't make sense for me because then I'd have to get licensed in each one of those states. So I let Edge handle the admin part, handle getting all the multiple licensing in the different states. And then I focus on originating, and I focus on, bringing in new loan officers, and I let them handle the rest.
Exactly. Yeah. The idea of having to read through, 40 broker agreements too doesn't really, get me fired up to wake up in the morning either. And so, yeah, I'm right there with you as far as Edge dealing with the, the corporate stuff that we would have to handle from a compliance and regulatory standpoint, So you already kind of covered how you heard about Edge just from a cold email, which I think is awesome. Was there any specific problem that you were experiencing on the retail side of things prior to joining Edge, or was it just kind of a collective, hey, this looks better all around?
It was both. I was at PRMG prior. I've been with a couple of retail companies. And then the last one was at PRMG, and they were okay, but there was a lot of big promises that they weren't able to deliver on. And I just felt underwriting was a challenge. I felt like there was a lot of conditions. The processing team that they had, they just seemed really busy. So I wasn't able to get the support. I was doing a lot of the processing myself. So I just didn't really see the benefit of working with a retail company, making less compensation, but not getting the support. And even the manager that I had at the time, I felt like I knew more than him. So I just didn't see the advantage.
Yeah.
And so I just didn't see the benefit of working for a company making half the commission, not getting the support that I needed. The pricing was not any better. So I didn't see any reason to stay there. And just coming over here and seeing the flexibility we have, all the different options, all the different programs. I mean, it was a no-brainer for me.
Absolutely. So that being the case, I take it your results have been pretty good since you've been here. Yeah.
I would say so. Yes.
Not to,
I mean,
yeah, not to hit specific production numbers, because I know those are a bit private, but just, would you say that your production has, gone through the roof since you've been with Edge and kind of moved over here?
absolutely. I would say my income has quadrupled from when I was at retail,
Sorry, did you
and
say quadrupled?
quadrupled.
Just want to get
Yeah.
that on record for anybody that's watching this.
I mean, not to get into, too much into the financials, but last year was an incredible year for me. This year is great as well. Of course, the market has shifted. There's not as much refi business out there, but that's okay. That comes in cycles. So in the next couple of years, that's going to happen again.
Sure.
Last year was amazing. This year is great. What I love about our industry is that the sky's the limit, and whatever you put in is what you get back. And, Edge is the perfect place for that, because you get the support that you need, but they also let you do business the way you want, obviously within compliance, but you're not restricted. You're able to go out and market, and, you don't have to worry about, okay, is the compliance team going to review this and make sure it's okay? And I know a lot of lenders are very strict about that. So I love that freedom that you have here to be able to go out and get the business that you're looking for. And at the same time, although we're all kind of individual, we don't go have like an office that we all go to, but with the Edge Facebook group, I feel like it's always a great resource for me if I need support. And I can always just pick up the phone and, call a loan officer and pick their brain. And so you get that support, and that's how you're able to, meet the numbers or the goals that you have. And yeah, I would say that ever since I've joined Edge, I mean, it's been life-changing. It truly has been. I mean, the kind of the income, the flexibility, I mean, I have no reason to go anywhere else.
You touched on an interesting point, which was, being able to call another loan officer for support if there's something that comes up. And that's something that I've experienced firsthand as well. Of course, granted, you're obviously kind of my main mentor here at Edge, so I'm a little bit biased, but I can't remember a time when you either haven't picked up the phone or called me back almost immediately. And if not you, then, there's 20 other people that are ready and willing to help too, that, don't have any financial interest in my success. It's just the camaraderie is there. And another thing, it's like, well, are you going to get the same level of support virtually from a Facebook group or from picking up the phone? I remember having my branch manager, 2 offices down the hall whenever I was working in retail, and the support felt like it was there because there was another LO in the office. But the reality is that a lot of the things that I was told, I have since learned since being at Edge that those things were wrong. And so having I don't want to call it a hive mind, maybe that's a poor connotation there, but having multiple really seasoned, experienced loan officers at the same company that you can call has been a godsend for my business too. So I get it, when it comes to support. So, to kind of wrap this up, what would you tell somebody who was in your position? You got a cold email, you got a phone call. What would you tell them whenever they're, sitting there on the fence wondering if this is legit or not?
I think you would be doing yourself a disservice to at least not look into the opportunity to see, okay, what does the compensation look like if you make the switch? What kind of products are going to be available to you? What kind of support you can have? At least have that conversation to really see, like, and to understand why there's been such a mass exodus from retail to broker. There's a reason for that. So I think the main thing is really just kind of understand what you're getting into on this side and all the advantages, and make sure it's the right fit for you. But I don't know anyone that's gone from retail to broker and has regretted it, because there's just so much opportunity here. And I just feel like this is kind of this is where everyone's going to transition to eventually. So main thing is research it, and have all your questions answered. Reach out to other brokers, and you'll see why this is the direction to go.
It's a great point and a big one to kind of end this on. I don't know anybody here who isn't willing to to spend time with somebody who's looking to make that switch, right? So if it's not me or Rita directly, anybody at Edge, call us up. We'll give you the scoop for real. So Rita, thank you so much for your time. Again, I'm here with Rita Ramos. She's been with Edge for approximately 5 years. Loves it, doesn't plan on moving, and I'm right there with her. So Rita, again, thank you so much for taking the time.
Thanks, Trey.